What is interpersonal communication? Interpersonal communication is the process by which people exchange information, feelings, and meaning through verbal and nonverbal messages. It is face-to-face communication. According to Stewart, there is a direct connection between the quality of your communication and the quality of your life. My overarching goal is to become aware and more focused on the needs of others, to vent and have a willingness to listen without adding anything beyond the other party's point of view. In addition, I will strive to be unbiased, objective, attentive, and supportive. From a personal perspective, I want to enlarge my conversation by being more of an empathetic listener. I want to focus more on others, encourage and engage in conversation while being an attentive listener. I also would like to clarify in conversation what I am hearing and make sure I understand the meaning by using examples on what I think is being said through the conversation or during the conversation. In Stewart's text, he talks about 6 features of communication. They are meaning, choice, culture, identities, conversation, and nexting. And for teaching purposes only, I only put the implications. For example, meaning, the implication is this: no one person can completely control a communication event, and no single person or action cause can be blamed for a communication outcome. Choice. The choice communicators make reveal their ethical standards and commitments. Culture. Your culture and mine affect what I say about communication in this book and how you respond to it. Identity. Identity messages are always in play. Conversation. The most ordinary communication events are often the most significant. And finally, nexting. Whenever you face a communication challenge or problem, the most useful question you can ask yourself is, what can I help to happen next? So one of the things that's so profound to me is that, and one of the things that I really identify under the 6 features of communication is nexting. Because I always, in communicating with others, I always want to know what I can do next in order to allow the communication event to flow properly from that point. My background. I am the last born child with 4 male siblings. I received an abundance of attention while growing up. I tend to want things right away. I'm very sociable, charming, loving, responsible, and open-minded. I am not an attention seeker. I'm grounded, and for many years I felt like the only child. In fact, when I got in my middle school years, I was the only child at home. The closest sibling to me is 8 years older. So I've often felt like the only child in my family, especially in my earlier years, which I think helped form and shape my behavior in terms of communicating. According to Carbonell, there are 4 personality quadrants in the DISC profile. They are active task-oriented, active people-oriented, passive people-oriented, and passive task-oriented. For me, I think my behavior blend is CIS, and I am more of an S-type personality. I also would like to add that I'm very supportive, sensitive, inspiring, and submissive. So let's do this. Why don't you take a minute to read over what are the 4 personality quadrants and see which blend that you fall up under. This is me according to Carbonell. I like to do things right, impress others. I'm stabilizing, not aggressive or pushy, sensitive to others' view of them and their work. This is what's expected of my personality type, again, which is S. They're stable and shy, does not like change, talking in front of large crowds is difficult. At this point, class, I would like to interject right here. although I agree with most of Carbonell's finding as it relates to personality types, I do want to bring out two good points. First point is this. I do agree that I am stable and shy, and growing up I was very shy. I do agree that I do not like change. But lastly, I have no problem talking in front of large crowds. It does not scare me. In fact, I love people to the point that large crowds are kind of at home for me. And so as you look over some of the behavior blends, you'll find some Carbonell findings that may fit you and some that may not. Moving right along, the personality type S positive blend includes being obedient, loyal, encouraging, a good friend to others, caring, kind, and great at listening. Also able to handle difficult situations. And I think on a personal level, I fall up under all of these categories. On the negative side, I do not like to be disappointed, willingness to carry others' burdens, get hurt and disappointed, think too much in problem solving, and allow emotions to sometimes to control my actions. I can honestly say that some of these categories do identify me very well. I have come accustomed to handling or coping disappointment well. I do find myself carrying others' burdens. I think too much in problem solving. In fact, most of my friends and mentees think that I overthink things and analyze things too much. And I can be at times somewhat emotional, but I do think that that's a female thing as well. Moving right along. Some of the communication barriers are physical, semantics, external, and listening barriers. For example, when you're in conversation in terms of physical barriers, several things may affect that. You may be stressed when communicating with others. You may be hungry. I can say for sure nobody wants to hear a growling stomach when they're in communication with somebody. Or you may be feeling a little fatigued. Some of the semantic barriers includes the meaning of words. So take, for example, you're talking to somebody or you're in communication with someone from another culture. You might not be able to understand their meaning, for example, or they might not be able to understand yours. Or somebody may be speaking Ebonics or slang language. So some of those can be what we consider to be potential communication barriers. Some of the external barriers includes emotion, deception, and betrayal. Well, from a personal point of view, I know in terms of deception, I don't want to really communicate with someone who's of a deceptive nature that you know are lying, or maybe somebody who have betrayed me or using the information to betray me. In addition, if there is a conversation that I am engaged in and emotions are involved, then I do want to be sensitive to that need as well as empathetic. So